Comrade, the perfect trap has been laid. Satellites show an American carrier group heading right towards K-206 and her escorts. K-206 is an Oscar I class submarine that is built with one primary purpose: to strike and destroy a NATO carrier. K-206 carries the powerful P-700 Granite anti-ship missile. The anti-ship missile has a range of over 600 kilometers, a maximum speed of Mach 2.5, and a powerful 750 kilogram warhead. In addition to K-206, two Victor III class submarines are in position to protect the Oscar and to assist in the destruction of the American aircraft carrier. Hello everybody, Wolfpack here, and welcome back to Sea Power, Naval Combat in the Missile Age. Before we get started, I do want to say this is a very early look at Sea Power, and much of what you are going to see in this video is subject to change before the game releases in November. This particular scenario puts us in command of an Oscar-class submarine. It is made by a friend of the channel and Single Malt Strategy podcast co-host, Finnish Jaeger. We have K-206 here, Murmansk, an Oscar I class submarine. We also have K-305 and K-502. Both of which are Victor III class submarines. They do have a towed array, which we are going to deploy. It should stream out of this pod here. Let's deploy the towed sonar array. K-502 here is operating above the layer right now. Yeah, the thermal layer in this particular part of the North Atlantic is 240 feet. We are going to come up and check up above the layer. Speaking of which, I do want Murmansk to change course. We are going to clear our baffles real quick, make sure there is not an American submarine operating right behind us. Unfortunately, the Oscar does not have a towed array, at least this early variant. And K-305 here is already streaming her towed array. The seas are incredibly choppy up top, but I do want her to come up to periscope depth. We are going to raise the ESM mast and see if we can pick anything up out there. We have two sound contacts, track 7001 and 7002. Look at the info here. 7001 looks to be a merchant ship, so we are going to identify that as neutral. And then track 7001, let's look at the info here. She could be a merchant. Yeah, or, well, it could also be a warship. Not entirely sure. Luchen's class. This is, Charles F. Adams. These were given to the Germans, which is pretty interesting, but I highly doubt that's her. It could be a warship, an older warship, who knows. We will continue to identify that. Be interesting if just a single German warship was operating out here in the middle of the North Atlantic. Not picking anything else up though. Murmansk is slowly turning and clearing her baffles. I would like her to go very deep as well as she completes this turn. And these seas up here are incredibly choppy. I am worried that our Victor is going to broach a little bit, but that's a risk I'm willing to take just to quickly check. Alrighty, we are at periscope. Let's raise ESM. And unable to raise mast. Seas are too rough. Okay, that's actually really cool that that is implemented. All right, and none of our masts can be raised. I don't even think we could raise the periscope if we wanted to. Nope, seas are far too rough, and the seas are incredibly choppy. Look at those massive waves up there. We have another contact though. Okay, well that's good to know. Good to know that that is implemented. K-305 is going to drop back down now. And K-502, you're at a good depth now. We have another contact. Look here. Could be a Tarawa. I highly doubt that. We are going to classify this as neutral. And let's look at the info here. Not entirely sure what this is. We are just hearing a surface ship up there. Well, the good news is we should be able to pick out a carrier task force relatively easily. My concern is submarines in the area, of course, tracking us. I would not be surprised if there was a Los Angeles class submarine just tracking our Oscar here. We have a new sound contact, track 7004, and that's an aircraft carrier most likely, or it could be an Iowa class battleship. Regardless, I think we have found our American task force. 2 contacts here. K502 is already in a very good position to attack. I would like to attack with our Victor 3 class submarines first, because they do have the 6576 torpedoes, the kit, which I'm sure many of us Cold Waters players are familiar with. These are anti-ship torpedoes, weight combing torpedoes, and they are in the 2 650mm tubes. They have a massive warhead, about 450 kilograms, and they have a quite exceptional range as well. So my plan is to fire these torpedoes first and then fire our granites from the Oscar. So we've identified one of the contacts as hostile right off the bat, and I'm sure this is another another warship or something. Indeed it is. Okay, K305, you are going to turn over this way. Drop down very deep, because we are going to start really moving. If we select the 6576 torpedo, we can see the range is very good here, but K305 is outside of firing range. K502 probably is inside range. Oh, almost. So we'll be able to fire soon. I want her to lay low and continue to track, though. And of course, Murmansk has her granites, and those are almost certainly in range, no doubt about it. She is going to hang back and fire those once the torpedoes have caused some chaos. K305's dropping down. Let's bring in the towed array. Start reeling that in because we are going to move at flank speed. And let's adjust this just ever so slightly.
7002.
And our order depth is 1100 feet, which works for me. We still haven't identified this, but this is almost certainly a merchant vessel. So we will go with neutral. And it looks like these contacts are continuing on that steady course. Now 059 degrees. Oh yeah, they're coming right across K502. Which is just perfect. If anything, I want her to move out of the path as well. Additionally, we do have 5365K torpedoes. These are also weight combing torpedoes, although their range is substantially shorter than the kits. Still should be able to cause a good amount of chaos. We are passing 775 feet now, all ahead flank. Let's start moving.
7006.
The Americans are using active sonar now. Part of me is wondering if we've been detected. K305 is still just hauling ass at 30 knots. Let's check, is she in range? Not yet. She's working on it though. Let's turn towards them.
234.
And I'm thinking let's drop below the layer as we prepare to get into position and fire. Yeah, I'm still hearing them bang away on active. It's incredibly faint at this distance. We're already losing contact on most of the formation. Just the seas are so rough, it is hard to hear much of anything. Here's USS America though. Beautiful looking carrier. just to showcase how strong the thermal layer is here, all of our submarines have dropped below the layer, and we have lost contact on every surface vessel out here at the moment. K305 is working on getting into range here. She's almost there. Has a little while to go. But we are setting up for quite a devastating attack. Thus far, no American submarine has been detected. And if there was an American submarine out here tracking K305, we almost certainly would have been shot at by now. So that's reassuring. At least there's that. Murmansk is just hanging out over here, nice and deep. Want to have her pop up above the layer for now. Get ready to fire. She has to be at around 80 feet in order to fire her P700 grenades. Now let's go ahead and start prepping for that. All of our submarines are now in position. We are going to commence firing. Let's reduce speed all ahead standard, come up above the layer, get ready to fire. K305 will be the first submarine to fire her wake homing torpedoes towards the enemy, followed by K502, and then Murmansk over there to the east will fire her P700s. Now we can salvo fire, but I'm thinking we'll do a single shot towards the aircraft carrier. Let's do that now. Okay. Torpedo tube opening up. One away. Two away. There we go. There go our two 65-76 torpedoes. They are now being reloaded, both of which are heading towards the enemy aircraft carrier. It's going to take 10 minutes for those torpedoes to be loaded. Let's reduce speed all ahead 1/3. Deploy the towed array while you are down here as well. K502, you are going to do the same thing, but I want you to fire a little differently. I would like... These torpedoes aren't wire guided and they really have to come across the wakes of the target, so I want them to activate a little earlier. Fire one over there. There we go, one away. And one more kit. We'll fire it in front like a big spread like that. There we go. 4 torpedoes away. They are reloading. Our 53 65K torpedoes are also in firing range. Let's fire a couple of those towards some of these contacts. There we go. Torpedoes away. That's a lot of torpedoes heading towards the target. Now it's time for Murmansk to shine. Come up to periscope depth. Come up to PD. Lots of wake homing torpedoes in the water. These are going to take a while to arrive, but that's all right. Tracks look pretty good, all things considered. These are going to cause some serious problems. And also, once these torpedoes hit, it'll hopefully lighten up the enemy air defenses, so our granites have a good shot of breaking through and hitting the carrier. We've just picked up another sound contact, which is quite curious. Something's out here. Hopefully that's not a torpedo. Nope, it's a ship. Moving at 19 knots. All right, good to know. Murmansk, what's your depth? Slowly coming up. Slowly coming up. We are going to salvo fire granites. I'm going to fire 8 towards the carrier. The doors will open and we can see the missile tubes here. Little fact, these are the same missile tubes that are put on the Kirov. They were originally designed to be submarine launched missiles. There goes one. So the Kirov's tubes actually have to be flooded just like the Oscars here. And I just love watching this firing sequence. It never gets old. Eight granites have been launched. Hopefully that will be enough. The missiles are now en route to the target, maneuvering into formation, flying above this thick layer of clouds here. And let's check on the torpedoes. They are getting quite close as well. Let's go down to K502. I wonder if any torpedoes are going to get dropped on us. As it stands currently, the escort ships will launch helos. There are definitely helos out and about, but they will not drop sonobuoys at the moment. The AI at least, which is unfortunate. I did talk to the devs. That is something they are planning on doing. I'm looking forward to that because that'll certainly make things a little more difficult if the AI is just blanketing sonobuoys all over the place. Granites are now flying right above the water. It looks like these Spruance-class destroyers are already firing interceptors. Someone did. I guess it may have been the Virginia. Granites have dropped down to the deck and interceptors are already being fired at us. I think a granite has already been taken out. Yep, one definitely splashed down back there. And another one has been taken out. We may have to fire more granites towards the enemy at this rate. We are already down to 5. They are heading straight for that carrier way out there. Another one destroyed. The surface-to-air missiles certainly perform much better than the early builds, which is great, but they are going for the largest target, and that definitely is the carrier. Only one is going for the carrier. It looks like it's going to hit. There we go, hit it. And they are immediately abandoning ship. Something else may have been hit. Yep, something else was hit way back there. 2 ships have been hit with granites. I am surprised, only one getting through and they immediately abandoned ship, but there goes an American flat top. She is sinking. The crew are making to the life rafts. The fire is spreading throughout the ship. I mean, that granite went right into a hangar, which I'm sure caused a good amount of damage. Well, USS America is going down. It only took one P700 granite slamming through a hangar, and a torpedo just slammed into her just to add insult to injury. The deck is now dipping below the waves here. Well, folks, that is going to do it for today's video. Definitely an easier mission, but one that shows off the Oscar in an ideal scenario. I do enjoy playing as the Oscar, and I did a whole cold water series in the Oscar, so it's quite fun to utilize it in Sea Power here. Anyway, folks, I hope you all enjoyed the video. If you did, please be sure to leave a like and comment, as it really does help out the channel. But until next time, this is Wolfpack345 signing off, and I'll see you all on the next one.